Women rush relationships out of desperation and loneliness. Men rush relationships out of survival. They need something, and they need it immediately. You know how you'll see a documentary or a video that'll pop up on your FYP, and it's a celebrity talking about how they rose to fame? They'll often talk about the period in that journey where they had to struggle to survive. And I have heard so many male celebrities say, I used to pretend like I was in love with women so that I could have a place to stay. I used to listen to this male YouTuber years ago, and his key audience was women, and he would give women advice about relationships. And there was one time he said, I will be in such and such city, and can one of you let me know if I can stay with you while I'm there? And I remember thinking, wow, I won't be listening to him anymore. He's taking advantage of women, which is what most of these guys do with big female audiences anyway. But there's this saying that we all know: nobody rushes a relationship faster than a man who needs a place to stay, a car to drive, a bill paid, food to eat. Nobody wants to reconcile a relationship faster than a man who also needs those things. The biggest excuse that women give for rushing these relationships is that there's something that they just know. Hot take: you don't know. You're guessing and you're hoping. And if that relationship works out, you got lucky. You are not the majority. As far as this whole idea of the one, I don't believe in that either, because if that's the case, if somebody has a spouse that dies or a marriage that ends, then dating would come to an end, because you couldn't connect with anybody else because your one is gone. That relationship ended, or we'd be forced to have no other choice but to reconcile with a bunch of dumbasses. And I get it that your grandma Sarah met a dude and married him after a week of knowing him, and they've been married for 50 years happily. Again, if that's actually true, that is the minority. Chances are your grandma settled and was unhappy for all 50 of those years, but I digress. And here's another hot take that people are going to hate me for saying. It is what it is. I'm the friend that ruins every fucking thing. I know. A woman making toxic decisions hates to see me coming. I don't really believe that a lot of women are happy in relationships.
Jules, you're just bitter and angry and jealous and you're mad.
Maybe. I don't know. But from my 42 years on this planet, my personal experience, because I have eyeballs and because I have ears and because I can read if it's an article or something, most women who say that they are in a happy relationship are simply describing the fact that they are in a relationship, that they have a man who is physically living with them in the same place, and that they have been together for a long period of time. They are not describing an actual healthy relationship with a man who is a happy participant in that relationship, who shows enthusiasm in being in that relationship with them, who communicates in a healthy way, who doesn't just treat her like she's a personal assistant and she cooks and cleans and does everything and possibly even works outside the home, and even if she's inside the home, she's still working 24/7. They are describing a very bare minimum situation of simply being in a relationship with a man. And this is not me pulling stuff out of my ass. I've been doing this content since 2009. I had a platform on YouTube that I took down in 2015, put it back up in 2017. I've been talking shit on Facebook and getting blocked since I've been on fucking Facebook because people can't stand to hear facts. So I'm not new to this. I didn't just pop on the scene in, 2018 when TikTok came about or whatever year. I've been doing this for a while. And because of that, I've been exposed to hearing the stories of thousands of women over the years who told me things that validate exactly what I'm saying, and I also lived it. There's this quote: "The lady doth protest too much." It's been my experience that women who always have to tell you that they did X thing and they're happy, and they've been married for X amount of years. While they may have been married for X amount of years, that's about it. Patriarchy guarantees men that they're going to get a mate. So how do you ensure that you're going to get a mate? You set up a system that tells women to lower their guard. You set up a system that tells women to give every man a chance. You set up a system that tells women if their man acts like a complete idiot, that's just how men are. You set up a system that makes women feel like a failure if they choose to get a divorce or break up. You set up a system that tells women that if they get a divorce, it's their fault for tearing up the family. You set up a system that teaches girls that they get to play with baby dolls and they get to learn how to take care of babies, and they have to be adaptive and temperature check and make sure everybody around them is okay, and they have to be accommodating, and they have to be understanding, and they have to be flexible with their boundaries. You set up a system that teaches us as women that everybody is good. Believe the good all the time. You set up a system that while men can have their standards and things that they want, women can't. And if you have any standard at all, it's too high. And if looks are important to you, you're superficial. And if you want a man who's financially stable, again, you're a gold digger and you're superficial. Set up a system that teaches women that the length of your marriage and your relationship is a badge of honor. So you have to stay together for as long as you can, literally till death do you part, because you get to brag that I've been married for X amount of years. Set up a system that teaches women that it's their job to keep the family together. You set up a system that tells women the only way to deal with loneliness is to get a man. You set up a system that tells women that being single is bad and it means something is wrong with you. You set up a system that tells women that what they see happening in the romantic comedies is exactly what's going to happen to them. You set up a system that teaches women that that person who knows a person who knows a person who knows a person who did some red flag bullshit and they've been happily married for X amount of years is exactly what's going to happen to them too if they do that same red flag bullshit. You set up a system that tells women that they have to be married with kids by 25 or something's wrong with them. You set up a system that tells a woman if she's able to take care of herself, she's hyper independent. You set up a system that tells women that if they proceed with caution in relationship, she's got her guard up. And that's a bad thing. You can't have your guard up. You can't just close off your heart. You set up a system that tells women who have been repeatedly traumatized that if they decide to take a break from dating or to stop dating at all, that there's something severely wrong with them. You can't do that. You can't just give up on love, okay? Not all men are bad. See where I'm going with this? The system was rigged in the favor of men. The system was not built for us to benefit in any way, for us to have boundaries or needs or a brain or to ask for or to expect anything outside of the bare minimum. We should just be simply happy to have a man.